But we met some young people who have a message for them about the climate.
It's time for them to start listening to us. We are scared.
Okay, picture this. You're sitting down for lunch at Panera Bread. Suddenly you get this alert that you just bought $15,000 of Home Depot gift cards. Huh? Now imagine if I told you this is actually a trend. And cruise ships quarantined, face masks, plane scares, everybody's going corona crazy. But should we? Even a little. Here's the story.
Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to The Story. I'm Dan Haggerty. It's been a week, hasn't it? It's been busy. I mean, this is one of those Fridays you thought would never come, especially when you find out it's only Thursday. The impeachment is over. The president was acquitted. The Iowa caucus was a mess. The State of the Union was... You know what? I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Meanwhile, Salem is thinking, what in the world do we got to do to get a little attention around here? That's right. Cap and Trade 2.0. 2 Cap, 2 Trade is upon us and won't be ignored. And that brings us to our big story tonight. The new cap and trade bill got its first committee hearing today, and thank goodness the walls are thick. Lots of big trucks from all over the state surrounded the Capitol and blared their horns most of the day. It's part of a protest against cap and trade by the group Timber Unity. They're made up of loggers and truckers, people in natural resources, the people who bring your groceries to the grocery store. They're worried about the gas tax part of the bill because gas prices would go up about 20 cents per gallon.
The cost to get your, groceries to the store are going to go up. The cost for you to go and get your groceries is going to go up.
You may have heard Democrats have promised that people in rural Oregon will be exempt from paying that tax, but the truckers, they ain't buying it, man, and they've made sure that people know that they're not buying it at their protest. Now, the protest had a lot of police there. They wanted to make sure everything went okay, which it did. This is a Facebook post from OSP that kind of caught our eye. This is a very divisive issue, of course, and it's being shared with emojis. Isn't Facebook fun? Oregon Senate Republicans, they were active on social media today, too, tweeting out the sweet sound of truck horns filling the air at the Capitol, while others were a little more focused on the fumes filling the air. There's actually a school right across the street called Little Friends Montessori. They told us that they were keeping their kids inside all day because they were worried about pollution, and that made us wonder just how much pollution is coming out of these trucks. Well, there's a group called Renew Oregon who, listen here, we got to point out, is backing the cap and trade bill, but they say that pollution's pretty bad. They tweeted out a photo from their own air quality monitor, which they installed at the Capitol, and according to them, the diesel exhaust spiked so much today that it was 600 times the air quality benchmark for what's considered a cancer risk. Again, the group is for the cap and trade bill, so they were definitely trying to make a point with this tweet. That same group, Renew Oregon, held a rally here in Portland today. They're supporting cap and trade. Pat Doris joining us now. You were down there. A lot of the other people who were down there were young people, high school students even. What was the message you were hearing?
Well, the message is they're angry. And there was a real undercurrent that I got of, listen, politicians, we're going to be voters soon. And if you don't get this done, we'll take care of it for you.
The students gathered in downtown Portland. They held signs and gathered in front of the cameras to let the world know there is a different side to the cap and trade debate in Oregon.
I'm almost 18, and for the first time, I'll cast my ballot this November. There are thousands of us ready to vote for the first time, and one of the biggest issues on our minds is stopping the climate crisis.
They are not impressed with the job the grown-ups in power have done so far.
It terrifies me that scientists tell us what great disasters are coming, and then to see adults in leadership unable to do their job and rise to the action of stopping it.
They are putting the politicians on notice. They are being watched closely.
Our lawmakers must understand after decades of delay, they are the last ones who can do something about this crisis. Anything but ambitious climate action is just another way to deny the truth.
Pat, thank you for that. Of course, you know cap and trade has been around for a long time. You've been covering it. I'm not sure if a lot of the people who are new to this state realize exactly how long this debate has been going on, but it's not new. The question is, what will it look like this year compared to years past?
So how did we get here? Oregon lawmakers have been trying to pass cap and trade for more than a decade. The first one in 2007 was actually sponsored by a Democrat and a Republican, but it failed. Cap and trade failed again in 2009, and other versions of the program have failed every year since 2015. Last year, it seemed like the Democrats' supermajority would be enough to get it done. But Republicans had a Hail Mary, beat the system by walking out and stopping a vote. And that's what they did for 9 days. Governor Kate Brown sent the state police to try and bring them back, but some of those senators had actually left the state, so police couldn't get them. Republicans eventually did come back when Democrats announced they no longer had the votes needed to pass cap and trade. Some moderate Democrats were wary of voting yes, including Gresham Senator Lori Monis Anderson, who has a Boeing plant in her district. So after yet another cap and trade failure, Governor Brown vowed to get it passed this year, and she said she'd take executive action if lawmakers don't pass it. And that's how we got here.
And I do want to mention that we're still getting some questions from you guys out there using the hashtag HeyDan, asking why Democrats won't just put cap and trade on the ballot so voters can decide. We love your questions. We love when you ask. Again, use that hashtag HeyDan to do so. And this is kind of an easy one to answer because we actually answered it for you last night. Democrats gave us this whole long list of reasons that we broke down for you as to why they don't want it on the ballot. If you missed it, it's really easy to find. Check out KGW's YouTube page. Use it, do it on your phone right now if you want. You can watch all of our past shows on there and some of our favorite segments from the story. Now, if you watch us here on The Story, I mean, we've only been on for like a week and a half, but we kind of try to stick to certain tenets. And one thing is that we like to stay local and talk about local stories. But everyone's going crazy over this coronavirus lately. Corona crazy over this thing. It's been declared a public health emergency. Hundreds of people have died in China. Now, that's true, and that's very scary. But back here at home in the U.S., health officials say you have a lot more of a risk of dying from the flu, which honestly is something that most of us don't think twice about. But we know people are scared, and stuff like this isn't helping. You see the guy here walking through a plane with a mask on. He was arrested on a Canadian flight for reportedly saying he had the coronavirus. Passengers started freaking out. It appears that all of this was just a prank. So the plane spun around, they turned around and went back. The guy got arrested. Everything was fine. But everything is not fine for a local couple from Forest Grove. They are stranded right now on a cruise ship in Japan because of coronavirus. Dozens of people on board are sick, and that means thousands of other passengers can't get off until they're quarantined, and that can last up to 2 weeks. And it's not that they just can't leave the ship, they can't leave their rooms.
Little stir crazy, a little bit of, what's going on. From our perspective, it's not too bad.
From my perspective, that sounds terrible. Apparently, we're being told they're able to yell through the walls to the people next door just so they can have a little bit of human interaction, like Papillon or something. So, as we told you, health officials say the flu, again, is more dangerous than this new virus here in the U.S. But if you want to protect yourself with a mask, for instance, over your face, that's okay. Just make sure you choose carefully, because some are not really that effective. There's a Portland-based startup. It's called AO Air. They actually just developed a new kind of breathing mask, and they say it is 50 times better than any other standard disposable mask. You can see it kind of looks like goggles for your mouth, I guess I would describe it. It's about $350 a pop for these, and they're taking pre-orders. They made this mask to filter out air pollution like smog or smoke, but they're trying right now to make one that is specifically filters viruses. Now, before we go to break, I do want to congratulate someone on a great career. Carlos Calmar, the music director for the Oregon Symphony, announced that he'll be stepping down after next season, after 20 years. This guy's Grammy nominated. He helped make the Oregon Symphony's orchestra one of the best in the country. So, go see his work while you still can.
You sit down for lunch at Panera Bread. You got your soup, your sandwich, your salad, but not your wallet.
I thought I had my eyes on it the entire time. I was shocked.
We've got to look at the latest crime ring targeting the Portland area when the story continues.
I did things completely different. Don't try to copy. So I don't know who is going to replace me, but I am very, very hopeful that it will be somebody excellent.
Panera is supposed to be a safe place. My grandma loves it. It's great for kids. They serve you soup and a huge piece of bread. So I was as shocked as you were to hear Kyla Boshi uncovered what appears to be a nationwide trend, often involving sophisticated crime rings at the same place you order a pick two.
They strike in seconds during the busy lunch hour, stealing credit cards from unsuspecting customers at Panera Bread. Police around the country report teams of pickpockets have been spotted on restaurant surveillance stealing wallets, then used the stolen credit cards to rack up huge bills on gift cards and electronics at nearby stores.
So my wallet was stolen while I'm sitting there, and they're making charges while I'm still eating my lunch.
So you hadn't even left the restaurant?
I had not left the restaurant.
Lori Lindley had her wallet stolen in January while having lunch with a friend at the Panera Bread in Tualatin. Her purse was secured under the table.
And so I put my purse against the wall, and I'd be sitting, and then I had the strap of my purse over my leg.
Somehow, Lori said, the crooks dug her wallet out of her purse, and within minutes, they used her stolen credit cards to buy nearly $15,000 in gift cards from a nearby Home Depot.
They worked really quickly. I think they were very smooth. I think they were very, educated about their system, their business plan.
I thought I had my eyes on it the entire time. I was shocked.
Deborah Reisman had her credit card stolen too, while having lunch at a different Panera in Beaverton. Her purse was wedged between her foot and a wall when someone pulled her wallet from her purse, removed the credit cards, then put the wallet back.
Anything, I didn't see any movement. It got picked up. It was like magic.
Within minutes, Deborah said the pickpockets ran up a huge bill on electronics at a nearby Best Buy store. Police say one of them can be seen on surveillance at a nearby Rite Aid.
Short amount of time.
Yeah.
They're quick.
I don't know why Panera's been hit, but Panera has been hit throughout the United States since about 2012 as far as
Beaverton Police Detective Jason Fewlett, who asked we don't show his face because he works undercover, explained these pickpockets typically work in teams of 2 or 3 people. They're sophisticated.
You know, some of the groups that I've seen are international, we call them South American theft groups.
And these crime rings move quickly from one place to the next.
You get groups that will come through that will start on the East Coast and move to the West Coast, or maybe they're West Coast, they move up to the North, and then they'll make their way across to the Midwest.
Unsuspecting customers have been hit at other restaurants and grocery stores, but Panera seems to be an especially attractive target, according to investigators. The busy restaurants have open seating and a relatively affluent customer base that skews toward women.
Police say pickpocketers are targeting restaurants in West Des Moines.
In the past few years, news reports have documented dozens and dozens of cases around the country involving wallets or credit cards stolen from customers at a Panera restaurant. The company did not respond to 3 separate requests for comment. Police suggest lunchtime customers be sure to close and secure your purse or wallet. Keep valuables visible around the center of the table, and set up a fraud alert on your credit cards. Police admit you don't need to stop going to your favorite lunchtime restaurant. You just need to be aware pickpockets are looking to grab and go.
After stealing a wallet, detectives say these thieves typically go to big box stores, Target, Best Buy, maybe Home Depot. And that's part of the reason that Panera is so attractive is they're nearby a lot of these big box stores or commercial retail settings.
Yeah, but then I put myself in the shoes of the clerk working at Best Buy or something, and somebody comes up and says, yeah, I'd like $15,000 in gift cards, please. That doesn't raise a red flag or anything.
Right, and that was one of the concerns of one of the victims we talked to. She said, why aren't they stopping these folks, right? It's obvious something suspicious is going on. There's questions that need to be answered by those big box retailers. Beaverton Police says, listen, this is a big dollar amount too. So it's like anywhere from $2,000 to $15,000 on these stolen cards each and every time.
All right, Kyle Bush, you'll stay on top of it for us. Appreciate it. If you have any questions for Kyle or the story, use #HeyDan. Kyle, thanks.
Well, what a day we had today in the Northwest. It was warm. We'll get into that, but look at this. It was Rainbow Day. This is out in White Salmon, the White Salmon River. Darlisa Black taking that picture of a rainbow perfectly framed over the river itself. Really fun to see. We had them in downtown Portland too. Rainbows, that is, and not just once, but more than once. Sun plus showers equal rainbows over Portland today. And in fact, not only was there one rainbow, there's a slight hint of a secondary rainbow out there for a double rainbow. Many of you saw these, really fun to see. No unicorns, but there was a spider that showed up over our lens for a while too. So it was an interesting day in that regard. And then, not only do we have rainbows, it was record warm. 59 in Portland ties the record for the date, even warmer at Vancouver with that 60-degree number there. So, what's the weather story? Well, today there's a couple of them. We talked about the rainbows, right? And the record warmth, which we had, which was great. We are going to get back into rain Friday night and Saturday, but next week, this will be a big deal. If we can score 2 dry days in a row, which I think we will, with no rain at all, not even a trace. We have not done that since early December. It's been over 2 months since we've had 2 completely dry days in a row. We've had a couple where there's like no rain in a trace, but 2 completely dry days in a row, early December. If you want to go for 4 dry days in a row, we haven't done that since back around Thanksgiving, November 20th, 23rd. So it's been a long run of wet weather, but it looks like it may be breaking as we go into next week. And in fact, our 7-day forecast after those showers on Saturday dries out on Sunday, Monday. There may be a few showers on Tuesday, but that's actually in question a bit. Then it looks dry again after that. So Dan, next week should be a little bit better.
I don't want to be greedy here. 4 days in a row? Could we even dream?
That's crazy talk.
Oh my gosh. Matt, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hey, I want to answer an email that we got after our story on gender-neutral bathrooms at Lake Ridge Middle School in Lake O. So the design there has some parents a little upset because the brand new school that they're building right now will have all-user bathroom stalls with communal sinks. Doug wrote into us here at this story and asked about water usage because there won't be any urinals, only toilets. Well, Doug, we got to look at the bathrooms at Grant High School today. Now, this is the same exact design that they're installing at Lake Ridge. They use dual flush toilets. You flush up for number 1, you flush down for number 2. They are supposed to be more water efficient. I do not have any hard numbers right now to show exactly how well they work, but we will keep looking for answers for you as long as you keep asking questions. Find me on Facebook or Twitter. Use the hashtag HeyDan.
She just got out of prison. Now she's on a mission to change things from the outside.
It's important. It's doing the work that matters. We're mothers before we are anything else.
An update for you on our Life in Prison series that came way sooner than we expected.
I think the most important thing has to do with the community in which we live here. I'm a true, slightly weird Portlander.
Last night, after more than a year of working behind the scenes here at KGW, we wrapped an in-depth 3-part series. It followed around 3 women serving years in prison and the program that helps them to prepare to leave and re-enter the real world. We've shown you their photos here before. Left to right, that is Vanessa, Amy, and Mariah. Now I want to show you a new photo. This one is Vanessa hugging her 10-year-old daughter, Sophia. In other words, Vanessa is out. And she's doing great. In fact, this week she called us and pitched a news story and wanted Maggie Vespa to meet her at the state capitol.
Filming inside Oregon's only women's prison for months on end was no simple feat. Security at Coffee Creek Correctional Facility in Wilsonville is intense.
You'll just look at me and talk to me. Hello again.
And the women serving time here were nervous to open up.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. What helped was knowing KGW was there to put a spotlight on Life. Funded and run by Mercy Corps Northwest, Life, or Lifelong Information for Entrepreneurs, is a nearly 9-month course that teaches women to build 2 plans. One, to run a small business. The other, to rebuild their lives after prison. We followed Mariah, Amy, and Vanessa through the whole process, knowing all the while one was scheduled to get out months before the others.
Okay.
Fast forward to this week, Vanessa Sherrod is out of prison and doing great. She posed, smiling for this photo with her 10-year-old daughter, Sophia, the same one who Vanessa said in episode 1 had been diagnosed with cancer years ago. Watching her daughter's struggle sped up Vanessa's spiral into addiction and crime. Now, Sophia is healthy, and Mom is sober and happy to be home. She walked out of prison on December 23rd.
I had so much anxiety all the way up to the moment then when I put my clothes on. The moment I put my clothes on, it just immediately things started leaving my body. Like all the emotions and feelings I was going through immediately started leaving. Okay, so where do I go?
Admittedly, this interview with Vanessa only lasted about 15 minutes. These days, her schedule is packed. We met up with her and Sophia at the state capitol in Salem. They were there to support a bill funding the Family Preservation Project. The program helps kids visit and have regular contact with their parents in prison. At Coffee Creek, Vanessa told us she dreamed about working to reform the criminal justice system once she was out. She's starting, with this cause.
It's important. It's doing the work that matters. It's our foundation. We're mothers before we are anything else, and our children mean the world to us no matter what circumstances we're in.
All right.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
All right, Maggie's here.
Maggie's here, clearly. Yeah.
It's so nice to see her doing well.
It is so incredible. Yeah. Like I was just telling you during the package, when I saw her in Salem at the state capitol, I saw her before she saw me, and I got a little teary-eyed, and I didn't expect that. But I've known her now for more than a year, right. And the first time I met her, that we interviewed her, I met her a couple times before then, but the first time I interviewed her, she cried, you know, telling us her story, and that's in episode 1. But so it's been an emotional ride. She's doing so well now. As we said, she's working on this bill, but she's also enrolled to start college in April to get her degree in social work. And she said that everything that she sort of went through in prison with these programs, the life program especially, really helped her get ready to re-enter. It worked.
So let's talk about why she was in Salem, right? So she's down there kind of championing this bill. What do we know about it?
Yeah, so let's give her, you know, sort of paid credit to her hard work. It's House Bill 4131. Here's some info on it. It would fund the Family Preservation Project, which, as we said, lets kids visit parents at Coffee Creek Women's Prison, Oregon's only women's prison. That program has actually been around since 2010, but last year, funding dried up due to, what do you think it was due to, Dan?
You tell me.
Oh man, the infamous GOP walkout over cap and trade.
I should know. We've been doing enough coverage on that.
Keeps on giving. A lot of bills died during that session. Famously, this was one of them, so funding dropped out for this program. This new version would fund the Family Preservation Project for 7 years, and that said, the pace of politics really struck again because she was there for 2 hours. I was there with my camera ready to film her testifying, and her bill got bumped.
Welcome to Salem.
Monday. Welcome to Salem, exactly. Sure. So she's rescheduled for Monday. We're going to be there, and we're going to keep tracking this bill and tracking her work.
I can't wait to see the next installment of this piece. But if you want to see the first 3 episodes in this series, Maggie's series, Life in Prison, we have it up for you right now on the KGW YouTube page. People have really been responding to this well. It's great work. Please check it out and let us know what you think. Also, we're going to read some of your other comments, some of the ones you send to me here at The Story when we come back.
All things need to end when they are on the high point. And in jobs like the one I have, an artistic job, it's actually good if you end the job before everybody tells you, you know, it's about time.
All right, stop what you're doing. Where are you? There you are. Pull out your phones. I want you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at The Story KGW. It's real easy. Just pull it out. We're getting some great feedback from people so far. Sherry writing tonight, hey Dan, I just discovered your new show this week and I really enjoy it. Keep up the good work. We will. David writing in saying, after a week and a half on air, I can and will now officially state that I like The Story. I like you. Thank you very much. I also heard from my mom tonight. She said I look tan. She streams it from Wheeling, West Virginia. Do I look tan? Didn't Matt just say we've only had like 1 day of sun in a row? All right. Thanks. Appreciate it. We'll see you back here tomorrow at The Story.